wants to tame me. You can't catch me on the run, cause I'm gone, yeah. I blaze trails, set fire to what's behind me. No, I'm never looking back, I'm on the run. I could only ever be what I'm made to be. It feels good when I'm living on the edge. Watch me now, roll like thunder, gonna sacred ground. Can't stop me now, I don't give up and I won't back down. I'm a force of nature, can't be contained. I got lightning running all through my veins. Watch me now, watch me now.
Hi, my name is Wyatt Milam, and I'm from Canova, West Virginia. When I'm back home in Canova, you will find me at my local Parmar store.
We had that golden boot pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
And if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
And hello and welcome to the WolfMan's Call. I'm the Wolfman, Dale Wolfley, and welcome to the show. Hey, what's up, Spark Man? Dale Sparks here, the Sparks Collection, right there, taking pictures. Yeah, buddy, you can come on over here and take a seat if you want. Anytime we get your good-looking face on camera. Yeah, this is a big deal. Come on over, man. We'll talk. Come on, take a seat. That's right, Dale Sparks. We're just waiting for this press conference to start. We're gonna have the governor. We're gonna have the two senators of the state of West Virginia. That's right, Dale Sparks. Boy, there's a good-looking Dale if I ever saw one.
Two Dales.
Yeah, two Dales, right? Okay.
I'll make a cameo here.
Okay, put on the headset, brother. So can hear you. How you been?
Everything's great.
Everything is great.
Everything's great.
Just great. And Jim Dandy, tell me about the Game Changer and what you're doing here, man. What you think of all this?
Well,
opiate and substance abuse prevention, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like the old DARE program, you know, Dare to Stay Off Drugs and things like that Nancy Reagan started. Just say no. Well, now it's one pill can kill.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great thing. I've been doing this from the start with Joe Bozick. Happy to be here.
This is the third year, right?
Yes, yes. Happy to be a part of it. It's a great cause. I mean, it's growing across West Virginia. It's starting to grow across the nation. I think it's going to be bigger than we can even imagine.
Really?
Yes.
Well, it's my first year with myself and the WolfMan's Call. I'm really excited about this. And what have you seen the changes since you first came here with Bozick? And now, if you don't know Bozick, everybody should, because Joe Bozick's been around. She's like forever, even longer than you.
Yeah, he probably has actually. Yeah. I've only been around 41. He's probably been about 43 or 44 years. So.
When he said Nancy Reagan, you kind of dated yourself.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, you know, things have changed. I've seen how the momentum is growing. The interest is growing. There's more high schools getting involved. They started out in some of the northern schools, and it just continues to grow. It's something that needs to be done. There's an epidemic going on.
Yeah.
With these opioids, and we need to stop it. We need to educate our kids and keep this thing moving in the right direction. Looks like I may have to go take some pictures here. So.
Oh, they're all moving in. Okay, very good. Well, hey, listen, Dale Sparks, get it. The Dale Sparks Collection. Always got it. I know you got some pictures of me there somewhere looking.
Oh, absolutely.
Very svelte in my football uniform.
DaleSparks.com.
Very good. All right,
thanks, Wolf.
Take care, man. Thank you for stopping in and always doing a great job. See, now that was Reno. He would hit the microphone on the way out. Okay, so we are waiting here, and I hope you can wait with us because this is important. This is something that obviously has been catching on a lot of steam. And when I say that, it's so important because, you know, without that, West Virginians taking care of West Virginians, then who's going to do it? Who's going to take care of our youth? And Reno, let's get ready here because we got the governor's starting to come in, and it looks like we're all heading in the right direction to get this going. And there's the gov. All right, good to see you. Very good. Yeah, let's turn that. You don't want to look at me, man.
Supposed to sit. I'm right here. Okay. You got a place over here. How you doing, Senator?
Okay, and then we have Senator Capito right there. Okay. Wow. Hello, Senator. Hello.
Didn't I just see you?
Good to
I
see
saw
you.
you over, did I see you over at the hospital?
Yeah. Good to see you.
How you doing? Hey, David.
Well, that's kind of cool when the senator knows who you are. I'm not bragging, am I? No, not at all. Not at all. We got, of course, we're going to have Senator Capito, Senator Manchin, we got Executive Director Joe Bozick, we got the Governor, Jim Justice. And so you got Shelley Poe over there. Shelley is the sports information major for Auburn. Reno, come on, man. John, we're doing like a golf thing right now.
Yeah, we gotta. I think they're gonna ask us
We
to
gotta
tone it
talk
down a
quiet,
little
right?
bit. Yeah, tone it down.
Am I talking loud?
So were you fishing with Jeff?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'd like to. Did you catch any fish?
Where
Look at
were
this.
you?
And I would like to say, Reno, that WolfMan's Call, we are the only ones that are broadcasting this live. We have lots of stations, but how can we do it? We are not just sports, man. We got it going on together. How can you not enjoy this?
Lots of media pulling in right now. The place is getting full.
Yeah, but got here. See this? Hey, Mickey Plumley, right there. You know Mickey from the '66 to '72. You know. Hey, Wolfman, keep up the good work. Well, you know what? I think that we got to look at these guys and say, hey, man, keep up their good work.
Good.
Oh, there he is.
I think we're about to start.
Special guest,
Hi, Shelley
Retired.
Moore.
I'm not getting up again.
We got Roy Williams right there, legend.
And I'm not getting up again.
Let's see. Okay, got Joey Foster saying, hey, looking for another great show.
Thank you all for joining us for the Game Changer event, and start off here with some of our distinguished guests. I'm Shelley Poe. I'm working with media relations for the Game Changer event, and I'd just like to say, as a West Virginian who's living in Alabama, I'm so proud of how all these people have come together to tackle a problem that affects our state, and it's just a real pleasure to be part of this effort. We'll ask our panelists to give a few opening remarks about their contributions and where they see things headed with this. But we'll start with the founder and the executive director of Game Changer, and that's Joe Bozick.
Thank you, Shelley. Thanks, everyone. 2 years ago, right about this time, we came here and we asked West Virginians to be resilient. We asked West Virginians to tackle a problem that was killing our communities and killing our kids. I sit here as a transplanted West Virginian of 30 years from right across the border in Shadyside, Ohio, but being here 30 years, and I've never been more prouder of the people up here, the people out there, the people throughout this state, the educators, and everyone from the corporate world that have stepped up and helped us begin a very, very long process to put the best prevention education in our schools. We are fortunate to have Hazelton Betty Ford, who has developed some of the best curriculum in our schools. We're in 12 pilot schools. We were fortunate to produce a film called One Pill Can Kill that's in our middle and in high schools. It's being sent home to parents to watch with their kids. We're going to outthink them. We're going to outsmart them. We're going to outfight them. And we are going to beat them. If anyone thinks that they're not coming after our kids, they are. Fentanyl's coming across this border, and it's killing our kids every single day. And West Virginia, 2 years ago, I asked to set the tone. I asked that West Virginians step up, and they have, beginning with the people up here, and I can't thank all of you enough. And we feel very fortunate to be where we're at. We've got a long way to go. We've got a lot of great people, and the resiliency will show.
Ask Governor Jim Justice, our host here at the Greenbrier, if he would make a few comments.
Well, first of all, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to this great man, these great senators, Joe, all of y'all that absolutely put in the licks to make things better. At the end of the day, I say it over and over, Jim's a guy that's as common as an old shoe. And all I can do is speak the truth to you. Without any question, drugs, this terrible epidemic, especially as bad as it was 3 or 4 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it may be, it was on the verge of cannibalizing our whole state. Like it or not like it, that's exactly where we were on the glide path to be. So with all that being said, we've had a lot of people really step up. A lot of people that are donors. We don't need to forget Larry. I mean, really and truly, we don't. You have been an absolute superstar, and so with all that being said, all I can do is thank you. Thank you all for your participation, and especially thank this guy that we all sat and watched on TV, and we watched and we admired, and we absolutely wanted to be like Mike here, but literally, it's amazing. It's just amazing to have him here and have him standing up and standing with us and trying to do something about this.
We're very fortunate to also have great support from our United States senators. Senator Joe Manchin. Do you have?
Yeah, Shelley, thank you. First of all, I want to welcome Coach Williams to West Virginia, Mountain State. We appreciate having you, and to Joe and the entire Game Changer team. When you think about 106,000 people died last year, 106,000, 70% of fentanyl. And what it's doing is just unbelievable. And to be able to direct the funds that are needed to fight this epidemic, but we can't do it. The reason I was so excited when Joe and I talked, how many years ago has it been, Joe? 5? 5 years ago we started talking. Joe said, I have an idea. And I said, what is it? We sat and talked, and he says, Game Changers. And I said, what's the purpose? He says, I want to get to the schools. He said, I've had personal experiences of how bad this can be, and I think we can do something. I related back when do you remember when seatbelts were mandatory? And those of us old enough, had a hard time. I had a hard time coming to grips that it was mandatory for me to wear a seatbelt. And my children were very young at that time. And I was kind of a little bit defiant. And every time I got in the car, they said, buckle up, Daddy. Buckle up, Daddy. And pretty soon, I thought, it's the right thing to do. Now, here it was. The kids telling me, which I should have known better on that. So when we think about how can we maybe fight and win this epidemic, it's going to start with the children. Adults, we've lost adults have been addicted. You're not going to maybe bring them or save some of them. We want to save them all. But we can sure save the children, and maybe the children can help us save the families, their mom and dad, aunts and uncles. I know it can be done. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, but that pup can sure teach you new tricks, right, Jim? So this is what we're talking about, and that's why I think Game Changers is truly the word and the title that it has. It is a changer of the game that we're in, and the game we're in right now, we can't win unless we do change it. So I want to thank everybody involved. It's important for all of us to be on the same, whether you're Democrat or Republican. This one doesn't have a home. This one doesn't care what your political party is, doesn't care what your political persuasions are. It basically will get us all. Doesn't care what your financial status is. It'll get us all. So Game Changers is basically going to change the game that we can win, and we will win it. I want to thank everybody involved.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito.
Well, thank you, Shelley, and thank all of you for being here, and welcome to West Virginia, Coach Williams. I told him it's very difficult, me as a Duke graduate, to open my heart up to him, but he said I'll get over it. But anyway, no, we're really thrilled that you're here, and I'm excited to be here with the governor and with both Joes. Obviously, Joe and I in the Senate, Joe Manchin and I work a lot to try to figure out a way to make sure that those 1,800 West Virginians who died, their families and the things that have happened to them were not in vain, and that all the wonderful parents that have joined together and family members to try to make sure this doesn't happen in their families throughout West Virginia have been very inspirational. I think the One Pill Can Kill is a national campaign. Game Changers has a great film on it. The DEA is involved with that One Pill Can Kill. But I think the most important thing for me about Game Changers is the prevention aspect of it. We're never, as Joe said, we're not going to stop it unless we stop it early. We're not going to stop it if people don't even begin to take drugs. If they realize at a very young age what the dangers are, how devastating it can be, and that one pill can kill and does. So I'm really proud to see tonight, I'm sure the presentation will see how Game Changers has grown. Governor, I know you've been traveling the state with the schools, Harrison County in particular. So thank you for letting me be a part of it. Whatever we can do in Washington, we are going to continue our efforts to try to make sure that this scourge that's ruining our families is handled and stopped.
And remarks from the gentleman who will be giving our keynote address tonight, Coach Roy Williams.
Well, first of all, I feel very flattered to be up here with the governor and two senators and some other guy named Joe too. But this is something that's dear to my heart. I had teachers in my elementary school days, my high school days that meant a great deal to me. And I tried to follow them as opposed to my father. My father was an alcoholic, married 5 times. My mom was his first. And I saw some of the bad things. And for me, I do have one record that you can tie it, but you can't beat it. I went to school at the University of North Carolina, 4 years as an undergraduate, 1 year to get a graduate degree. And I'm the only person I know that went to school at North Carolina for 5 years and never drank a beer. So that's one record that nobody can beat it. They can tie it. But Joe brought this up, and excuse me for not saying senator, I apologize. Brought it up, it rang a bell with me about the seatbelts, because that's when I was, I'm 72 years old now, but I'll never forget a friend of mine who happened to be a highway patrolman. He said, "Roy, I've never unbuckled a dead man." And that hit me. And so after that, my kids, nobody had, I put it on religiously kind of thing. But what we're doing here, we're not, as Senator said, Democrats or Republicans. The biggest problem we have in our country, I think, is people don't work together enough. But on this, we got to work together because we're talking about our young people. And I do try to give, while I was still coaching, I tried to give 5 days a year to cancer events. I lost my mother and several close friends to cancer, and I still do that, but now I try to branch out, and so make it 10 days, including those 5. But this is something that it's just awful. And I have 2 children, I have 4 grandchildren, and it would just kill me if something like this were to happen to them. And that's the way we've got to look at it, that all these people we're trying to help are our children or our grandchildren. So I don't know if I'm going to be any good to try to help you, but I'm here to try, and I love people working together to help our kids. And as I said, I had teachers that took care of me the whole time, and it's something that I appreciated. And if we can raise $5 more, then let's raise 5. If we can raise $10 more, let's do that, because we do need to educate. I was in a fortunate time period. When I was playing basketball in high school, 2 of my teammates would go around behind the gym and smoke a cigarette before practice. And that's the worst daggum thing that I had to deal with. And the kids nowadays are faced with so many more difficult decisions that I was ever faced with. So if we can help kids, that's what I enjoy doing, and it's something that I am flattered to be up here, and I know that everybody's well educated, some a little better than others, but that's okay. So, we have a very healthy rivalry. I felt very flattered for 18 years as a head coach at North Carolina to have the Duke North Carolina series, and I'll be very sincere. I felt very flattered to be involved with that, but I'm flattered that you guys invited me up today, and Joe, we'll try to see if everybody will at least think I'm okay by the end of the night. So.
Thank you. Do you have any questions from the audience?
Coach Williams, is drugs brought up among the coaching profession, and now that you're here and you're notified of this problem, is that something
Yes, for sure. I mean, let's be honest too. Bob Huggins and Roy Williams, we're different in a lot of different ways, But I love the man, and he's the one that called me and asked me to do this. I didn't know anybody else sitting at the table. I knew names, and that was it. But Bob Huggins is the guy that got me to come here, and I talked to two of my former assistants last night, who are head coaches now, about making sure that they're giving time. And it's hard when you're a coach, because you're a coach 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. I mean, there's no such thing as a day off, but you got to try to be able to do some things that can help, and particularly young people. And so I did have that conversation last night with two of my former assistants.
Other questions?
It's the easiest press conference
It
I've
is,
ever
isn't
had.
it? Yeah.
Wish we had these back on.
Go ahead.
Sort of say, you three guys have.
Yeah, AP.
This is for Joe and two senators and the governor. Have other governors spoken to you, reached out to you, and what senators have come to you and suggested that we want to follow this program? And Joe, you must have some people that you deal with around the country that want to adapt this type of program.
We really do. I'm not at the level of the ones here at the table in their level of talking to governors, obviously, but we have huge interest from educators from around the country. We have interest from anti-drug and prevention people from around the country. I think where we've been very fortunate is that we've been able to do a good enough job that it's catching the attention because of our methods of being prevention people. And that's where it's at, as I think it was Senator Capito had said, you know, if you don't try a drug, we have no addiction. And that is the key to this. You know, one thing about our society, we're not patient. We want instant gratification. We want stuff done now. This is not this problem wasn't created in a day, and it's not going to go away in a day. But we think we have the right methods to be able to, in 5 years down the road and 6 years down the road, and once it's evaluated and once we see the results, I think that people everywhere will want to implement this program.
The thing that there's not one senator that's not affected. Not one of the 100 of us, there's not one that doesn't have in their state people that are affected, children, families, of all kinds, all sorts. There's not one member of the Congress of 435, so 535 members in Congress, including the Senate, have someone either very close to them in their family or someone close to them as a friend who's been addicted. And they all know someone that's been, their life's been taken because of it. So it's easy to rally in a bipartisan way if we can find a fix. So everybody's watching what we're doing here. We spoke to a lot, I know Shelley has too, we both spoke to a lot of people that want to be involved. They want to know the effects, how it's being done. So all we can do is show them the game plan, call Joe and say, Joe, you ought to reach out to a few of these people here because they want to take it on to their states also. But, you know, the money that we put to it, so I think we put $4.9 billion last year. It was unbelievable. So the amount of money we're putting to fighting this epidemic, but unless we get China, unless we can shut China down, unless we can get the cartel in Mexico, unless we, I mean, it's all out war. It's an all out social war that we're going to have to some way be able to conquer. So it started out as what? Buckle up. It started out as just say no. Now one pill can kill. Think about it, what we've come through just generations. And it's not going to stop. So we have to be very vigilant.
I'll add something there. I'm an old guy, okay, I'm old school. John Wayne was one of my heroes. In one of the movies, John Wayne and the good guys are on one side of the river shooting the other guys on the other side. There's an old character actor named Jack Elam, ugliest guy ever in the movie. And he's shooting a scattergun. And John Wayne looked at him and said, "Scattergun's no good, it's too far." And Jack Elam said, "You don't mind if I shoot, do you?" And that's what we're talking about here. It's not going to be cured tomorrow, but if you don't mind, these people are trying. And I admire you guys greatly. I called Governor Cooper in North Carolina and told him what I was doing and see what his opinion was, and he said, go do it. And so it is a program other people are aware of, but don't mind if I shoot, do you? And that's what we're trying to do.
AP, and let me say this, the one thing that we started out, we lacked was credibility. And the people up here, Governor Justice having a press conference, Senator Manchin and Senator Capito lending their names and coming in support of this. And 2 years ago, Senator Manchin was able to get us Nick Saban, and last year Brad Paisley, and this year we have Coach Williams. Governor Justice held a press conference back in June 3 years ago to say he was going to be the head coach, and if there were polls, it went straight up just because of the fact that these kind of people getting behind, not just by talking, but by doing and by helping and taking time again to come here today. They're all busy. They have a lot of things going on, and they've showed the priority for 3 straight years now, and that's what's going to make this thing go.
The exciting thing for me, for Game Changers and for the state of West Virginia, is recognizing, as Senator Manchin said, it's a national problem. West Virginia has played a key role in developing some of the solutions or some of the answers to some of the problems. Game Changers certainly is an innovative, new, fresh approach to go younger and younger into the school. Kids know a lot more in 4th and 5th grade than any of us knew in 4th or 5th grade. I can guarantee you that. But we've done other things. We've done community response teams. We've done Lily's Place. We've done other innovative ways to face this issue to try to not just bend the curve on overdoses and overdose deaths, but also to find the solutions for the families that are coming up, the trauma that the families are connected with. It's just immeasurable, all of the different ways, and Joe mentioned how much money we've spent on it, but when you think about prevention, drug courts, all the different ways that we're trying to face this, the prevention aspect of it was kind of in the back seat. We didn't really begin to focus on that because of the intensity of the overdose problem, the drugs coming over from Mexico, the pill presses now that look like pills that people are used to taking, like an Adderall or something like that. They don't know what's in there. And so it keeps morphing into different problems, and it's just as deadly as it was when it started. So I'm proud of our state for being at the front end here, acknowledging we have a problem, and finding those solutions so that they can go across the nation. And Game Changers is one of those.
Let me just say just one thing. This is just all there is to it. Joe's right about China. He's right about the cartels. There's so many things here that are right. But I'm going to tell you something that you may not like. But in all honesty, until every one of you and every one of us thinks that it is really, really important, and we are absolutely willing to put some real emphasis on trying to do something about it, we won't win the battle. That's all there is to it. At the end of the day, all of us go about our lives, and we'll go about our lives in just a few moments. We'll have an incredible dinner, incredible speaker, and before you know it, we'll be off after that to Wendy's or wherever it may be. At the end of the day, when we as a people really believe that this is just as important as all of us here believe, then we'll really get it done. That's what we got to do.
Let me say one thing real quick. We have treatment centers. We lack treatment centers. We got hit with an epidemic here and didn't have places to take care of people. So if you're sick, you go to the hospital, you have different doctors. And then the amount of drugs coming into the system legally. We're talking about all the illegal stuff is really hitting us now. It's really the one pill can kill because of fentanyl. But the legal stuff that basically just absolutely invoked this whole country of ours and did it legally by drug companies basically lying and distorting, making something they said was not addictive, that they knew was addictive. And now they're paying everybody's in lawsuits, right? The whole damn world's in a lawsuit right now. But the bottom line is, we still haven't stopped it. We're trying one thing. Does this make sense to you? We said, if the FDA is going to approve a new drug, an opiate drug, because it's better and greater than the last one, don't you think they ought to replace one, take one off the market? This makes sense. Can't even get that. Can't basically take one off if you put a new one on. Just start reducing their flow of legal drugs into people's homes. We're having a hard time just fighting that. It's crazy. Really crazy. Sorry to share all that good news with you.
Any other questions from the audience? can I close by asking Coach Williams, you had great excellence in working with young people all these years. What do you feel gives young people hope?
That was the easiest one. Young people have hope if they know people care. My high school coach, I told the governor this, was the most important man in my life because he showed me he cared. And he did it every single day. He's 83 years old. I called him on the way to the airport today. So for me and every team I coached, every kid I talked to, I did something in Winston-Salem yesterday morning, scholarship program for kids in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County. And we talked about kids want to know that you care. And some of them are too far gone to make a big change, but you can try. And so for me, that's not the greatest answer, but that's the one. My high school coach, my high school math teacher, they all cared about Roy, and that was important to me.
Thank you. Thank you. Something else? No? Okay. Thank you all very much for joining us. We're looking forward to a big evening. Thanks.
Can we get a picture? Chairman Pinchot, would you come up for a picture up here with all of us?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, Rita, go ahead. Let's jump it over here because I got somebody special. All right. And look, oh, who is it? Is that Meg Bolger right there? Hey, Meg, how you doing?
What are you doing here? What just happened? I just
WolfMan's
bumped into you. What just happened?
I tell you what, every time we go ahead, we bump into each other. It's like, it's just we're here at the right places at the right times, and you're always around the right places. Hall of Famer, you got your sister Katie, you got Mark. I mean, you're all Hall of Famers here for WVU, and so let's just say, is Mark going to be here this weekend, or is that this week?
Yeah, Mark's here. He got here today.
Okay.
I begged and begged my sister. They have a newborn. They have a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old in Phoenix, and I begged and I said, just leave your husband home with the kids. Isn't that the thing? Can we do that? And he was like, oh, if she's going, I'm going. So it just didn't work out. But Mark will be here. We're just excited. This is our 3rd year back here to Game Changer, and I'm more a part of it this year, which has been incredible. It's been so impactful.
Okay, so now you know what I'm doing here because I have the camera.
Yes.
Okay, now, so you've been involved. What have you been doing with Game Changer?
I hosted the film One Pill Can Kill that was just mind-blowing, life-changing. As an athlete, we want to be a part of the community, but it's almost as a part of the community to an extent with basketball or Mark with football, and to really get involved with West Virginia community and with the people and what is actually affecting these families that come and watch us play, and they, or can't come and watch us play because of what's being affected in their lives. It changed my entire world on all of this. So it just feels so much more meaningful to be part of West Virginia in a deeper way and really be able to help the children that are being affected by fentanyl and the opioid crisis and the families that we love.
Yeah, and this is obviously not just WVU. So this is West Virginia, and you all come from Pittsburgh. And I think you still live there, don't you?
I do.
Oh, I still haven't, really thought that you're very smart for that, but it's okay.
We were driving down yesterday, and I looked at, we're coming out of the hills, and I look over, I said, see, I told my husband, I said, see, this is where we need to be. Look at this land. It's beautiful. I'm close. I'm not driving back. I'm not putting the miles on our lease. I need to just be here.
Oh, that is good stuff. Well, let me ask you about the One Pill to Kill. You did the movie. You said a video.
Yes.
Are we going to watch that tonight?
They'll show clips. You can see it online, GameChangerUSA.org. You can watch it for free. It's in the Greenbrier, on the hotel TVs. But it's online. It's free. It's incredible. And then I'm seeing it tonight, so you'll be able to hear way too much of me later.
Oh my gosh!
I know, how depressing.
It's like I've seen you, in a lot of places, WVU and great places. We had a lot of fun. But you've always been there when it counted.
Yeah.
And you've always been, honestly. You scored some points in basketball, so we got to go with that. So you were there for the basketball team. Okay, you and your sister. And then you come around. Then you're in the varsity club, and for the New York Minute there.
Me and you.
Yeah,
Me and
and
you.
you're
Started
hanging
that
up,
in a little
you're hanging
office.
up balloons
It's great. It's the
and
greatest.
the tent.
It's the greatest.
But then you've gone so far. So what are you doing now?
A lot of my work here is going back and forth with Game Changer and working every capacity that we can. Just getting media liaison with a lot of the TV stations. We're working on camps this summer that we're going to do. Actually, it's at Bridgeport Rec Center that I will be at every Monday for 8 weeks.
Really?
With Game Changer, yeah. So that's going to be coming up very soon. And then my brother has a company at home, my oldest brother, that I kind of work with part-time just to,
Just
make
'cause
sure
you're
I'm
bored?
busy. Make sure I'm busy, or I can't be, and I coach too, and then I still do the sports broadcasting. So I'm jack of all trades, master of none yet, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you're doing good. Well, that's great, Max. Is there anything else that you want to talk about with Game Changers? The last thing, how important is it? Obviously, you're working on it so much for you. You're doing this and that, but how really important is it you now for your mission in life?
No, it really is, and I think it speaks to what the governor just said. Unless you start to care and you associate it with your own life, you can kind of just go day to day and not think about it. But please just visit the website and cruise around on it. Just watch 10 minutes of the film. You will be immediately impacted. I have watched it with my dad, my mom, my daughter, 10-year-old daughter, a 16-year-old niece, and each one of them has had different reactions at all times. Cried, shocked. I mean, it's very, very powerful. So please, I just encourage everyone to visit the website and just kind of understand what's going on.
All right. Well, listen, if you didn't know this is one of the coolest ladies ever for WVU. Her and her sister. I don't want to separate that, okay, with her sister. Because we went out to
Coming
Phoenix.
from
We had a
the
great
coolest,
time.
yes, she did.
And she was a great
Yes, they did.
hostess. And we had a ball. So, all right, Megs, listen, you keep going with Game Changer, and you keep kicking cans, sister.
Thank you, Wolfman. Love you.
Love you
Thank
too.
you.
All right, God bless. And that is Meg Bolter, Hall of Famer WVU, and now she is going to be a Hall of Famer with Game Changer. Thank you, Meg.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, we're keeping on going here. You can leave now. Like she wants to stay. She's always loved the camera.
Right over here.
All right. Oh, we got here Senator Shelley Capito. Okay. All right. There you go, Senator. How are you?
I am great.
Wonderful.
Another beautiful day.
Oh, it's
Are
gorgeous.
you kidding? Yeah.
At the Greenbrier in West Virginia. And it really is so nice to be able to be at the Greenbrier, one of the most beautiful places in West Virginia, one of them for sure, and going after this important issue. And I know to stand up there and I come from a family of substance abuse people, and I had it in our family, and it means so much, so important to get it before it really starts. And you said about not being able to take a drink. What is you told it up there, but how important is it for you and your philosophy? What is your ultimate goal for this Game Changers and really for all of West Virginia?
Well, I think I said that a lot of the solutions, because we had a lot of the problem, a lot of the solutions are coming from West Virginia. And we've tried to incorporate that into some of the lawmaking that we've done. But Game Changer really hits, I think, the part that we've been the weakest on, and that's the prevention. And I think the assumption has been that, well, we're going to start prevention in junior high or high school. It's too late. It's too late. And, my kids all went to school in Charleston, and my youngest, who's now 37, can name 15 people who have lost their lives in those classes that were in and around her. That's 15 families and friends, and it's just tragic. I just saw a friend of mine who was the mother of one of the sons that died. So it's just, it's a desperate feeling, I think, that we all feel, that we've got to do everything, not just one thing.
Right. And when you look at that in the ultimate way, the ultimate model, what can people like me, a normal person that can volunteer their time, what is it that we can do to lend our resources that we have individually to work at this, in a collaborative way?
I think we have to keep talking about it. I admire the parents or friends or spouses that will come forward and talk about the experience. How did this start? What are the warning signs? How can you talk about it with your family? How can you meet the challenge. What are the red flags that you saw? And some of them start with sports injuries. Some of them start with pot or something like that, a lower line drug. And so everybody's story is different. So I think what you can do is really help us amplify those stories and make people feel like addiction is just like a physical illness. It's something that needs to be fixed and addressed and be honest about and not hide, because it hits so many people.
Yeah, there's so many issues out there, and as a senator, you're one of two in a state, obviously, but there's only so much that you can do. There's only so much this person can do over here, but in a big way together, we can all work together under the right direction, your direction, and others, that we can come together and really make it happen at West Virginia, where we can really, when we say game changer, we can really change that game.
Right. And if we don't, we're losing a generation, and we're losing the battle. I mean, I had I'll give you an example, Secretary of State of the United States in front of our committee. And I asked him, what are you doing with China to stop the flow of these precursor chemicals that go into fentanyl? Well, I said, it's not enough. You have got to get the world and the globe to be as outraged about this as we are. And we're so, the Mexican president, we went down and talked with him. Help us out here. And yet we have an appetite for it, yes, but the supply problem is not there. We need to stop the supply. And so it's just really frightening, I think.
Well, Senator Capito, we're with you. Thank you so much for stopping in.
Thank you for what
here.
you're doing. It's important.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for what you are doing, ma'am.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Good to talk.
All right. Well, that is Senator Shelley Capito Moore, for Moore Capital, excuse me. And what a treat that was to have her here talking. She's really talking about a game changer.
Well, you're nice. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, there you go. Watch yourself.
Here we go.
Oh, and here we go. Okay. Well, we got a really special guest, one after the other. They just keep coming in. Coach Roy Williams, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Hope you are.
Oh, I'm doing great. You can put those on if you like. Very good. Okay, so, Coach, you are retired, but do you ever retire from coaching?
No. I've watched every game like a fan, and the last 2 years, I've been retired 2 years. There's only 2 times that I've jumped up and screamed at a player and realized who I am and what I was doing, and I sat back down as quickly as I could. But no, I love being a fan. I enjoy watching our team. Everybody on our team last year except one guy recruited, and so to me it's still fun. I miss the coaching tremendously, but at the same time I made the decision because I wasn't doing it as well in my mind, and that was the only thing that mattered. I couldn't handle it.
Well, that's fantastic, Coach. And, it's nice that, you believe that you weren't doing as good as you can. I have a hard time believing that, to be honest with you, because you've just affected so many lives. But I'm a former head coach and a football coach. And what I did is I had the ability is I affected some lives. And when I did affect those lives, I didn't affect all of them. I wasn't the best coach out there or whatever, but when I was able to do something really good, the coaching, it really moved something inside of me. When you're coaching yourself, what was your motivation?
And you said it the best right there is I miss the games. They're okay, but that's not what I really miss. I really miss the interaction with my players. I miss the locker room, I miss the bus ride. I miss the times that they want to come in and talk about life or their game or what they can do to get better. And you're trying to strive every day to help the kid become the best player he can be ready for society, be the best father, husband, brother that he can possibly be. And so those are the times I miss. You put up with the games. I mean, the games are for the fans more than just to see how we're doing. And we were fortunate enough to win a lot, and that made it more fun. But what I miss is the interaction with the players. And I said at the press conference earlier, most important male in my life was my high school basketball coach. And for me, that's all I wanted to do was to be able to make some young man feel as good as he made me feel.
Yeah, no doubt, Coach. Let me ask you this. What's it like to win a national championship? Because I played on a team that lost the national championship to Notre Dame. What's it like to win one?
Well, I was there. I went to 9 Final Fours and only won 3 national championships. But when you get there, it's still pretty hard to win the last one. But I played, or coached, not played, but I coached in 6 national championship games, won 3 and lost 3. And the ones we lost, the last one in 2016, we lost on the last second 35-footer at the buzzer. And that was like somebody just reached in and jerked your heart out and taunted you and shook your heart right in front of them kind of thing. But it was, to me, the greatest moment as a coach is when you see your kids accomplish something that is really, really hard to do. And to watch them at that moment, that's the single biggest great spot as a coach.
Yeah. Last question for you, Coach, because I know you got a big speech tonight. I'm looking so forward to it. But what is your message, briefly, that you're bringing here to Game Changers? So that it has the import, the longevity. It's a huge room. There's going to be a lot of people listening to you. And I've listened to you speak so many times in my life. And you mean so much. So I just can't wait to hear the speech. But what are you going to try to bring tonight?
Well, I just try to explain to people that we've got a battle going on with the drug use and the drug abuse and the Game Changer and what's happening here tonight. We're trying to raise money to get more education to the young people so they'll never get started. We've got to start at that point where we can get them where they don't ever start. And it's something, it's a big-time problem for our entire country. It's a big-time problem here in West Virginia. And so hopefully just to try to raise a little more money to have more educational things out there for young kids.
Hey, Coach, thank you so much. Enjoy tonight, and we thank you for coming to West Virginia. And also, thanks for being a mentor to a lot of people out there that did play for you.
Thank you very much.
The way you've always acted.
I was a lucky dude, and I'll tell you this: I used to love soul music. Now I like country music. Luke Bryan's got a song a couple of years old. It said "Buy Dirt" was, I think, the name of the song. But in there it said, "Find something you love to do and call it work." I paraphrase a little bit, but find something you love doing, call it work, and that's what I was able to do for 48 years. So that's pretty lucky.
Yeah, Coach. God bless you. Thank you, man. All right. Well, that's not one of the coolest interviews yet. I don't know. On the WolfMan's Call. Well, I'll tell you what. Do we got anyone else here, Reno? Look, Reno's enjoying the interview so much. You're not even doing the job out there. Is Joe Bozick around there? Huh? Oh, hey. Reno Bellamy, okay, he just got hired, and now he could be just getting fired. All right. So, hey, listen, you heard from the governor, the Honorable there, Governor Jim Justice. You heard from Senator Shelley Moore Capito. You heard from Senator Manchin. You heard from Roy Williams. So I can't wait to hear what he's got to talk about tonight. It's going to be a great speech. I've heard him talk numerous times, and you can never go wrong. And here we are at Game Changer, and we're just getting ready to roll. Reno, how are we doing? We got anything else going on? Are we good? Okay, so, all right. Well, listen, my friends, this has been a great, great show. The WolfMan's Call is brought to you by Parmar Stores. And so many of the other great companies. And you heard all the people talking. And what did they talk about? They talked about Game Changer being a solution to the problem. And first you have to acknowledge the problem. And I think that it's becoming that. This is the third year of Game Changer, third year that they've been picking it up. So I got to believe that this really is turning into it. I mean, I see 2 senators, Reno. I see the governor. I see Roy Williams here. I see Joe Bozick, executive director. You got Shelley Poe, came up from Auburn. She's there, works there for football, the Auburn Tigers. I mean, there's just so many people coming together. I see Daryl Talley, and we're going to get on the show tomorrow. Reno, why don't you just jump on real quick, because we're going to get to the show tomorrow. Daryl Talley, Brian Joswiak, and you get a feeling, you see the politicians that are here, and you see the sports figures that are here, and you see the people that have influence, whatever the companies that they have are here, like such as Parmar Stores, right? Being one of the leaders in the way with Milo Ritten, Brian Wall, and Tim Redshaw. And they're leading the way. And that's like so many other companies that are here. This is a who's who out here. Listen, this is the third year of Game Changers, Reno. The next year is going to be obviously number 4. What do you think, man? What's going on?
Certainly an all-out blitz, Coach. Everybody's involved. There's a laundry list of companies out here that are helping. The idea of hitting the kids up before they even start them young, I think is, if you believe in the good and evil battle, I believe that the evil has started to hit our kids young. So the only way to combat that is to bring in the good and help them be aware before it's too late.
See, now, if I fired you right now because you were enjoying the Roy Williams interview and not trying to go
What a
ahead
good dude.
and try to track down some other people, if I fired you right now, would I be letting in for the evil?
I think,
or would that be a good thing?
I think my day job. I think I still have my day job. I appreciate that.
Which we got a pump up here. So we got stationers.
Yeah,
right?
Stationers.
And
Yeah,
you
the
got-
largest office supply company based out of West Virginia.
Wait, that's my commercial. Stationers,
yeah.
largest office supply company in West Virginia.
Service is always in stock.
Service is always,
yeah.
You just wait a minute. You know, they're always in stock.
Right.
It's not service.
No, it is service. Yeah,
Oh, because your service is always in stock.
that's correct. Never ends. Got my cell
Okay.
phone.
And we got what? Chapman Printing. Did we say
Chapman
that already?
Printing has been around for
Champion Industries.
a very long time. Champion Industries works for owns Chapman Printing, Stationers, CBI, Capital Business Interiors. So from my perspective, we're here to serve and we're here to help. So we have
right.
a lot of resources.
So for this hour, we had Meg Bulger, we had
Yes.
Senator Moore,
Yes.
Capital Moore, right? Or no, Moore Capital, Shelley Moore Capital. Yeah,
Yes.
I keep making that mistake.
Yeah.
And then, of course, 'cause I'm the Wolfman. That's what I do.
Yeah.
If I didn't screw up, I couldn't be the Wolfman.
She likes you.
Yeah, she likes me.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. I'm
You're
good.
forgiven.
I'm okay. I'm forgiven. And of course, Roy Williams getting him. I'll tell you, do you know how many people would like to have him on their show, man?
What a great dude. What a great guy.
I mean, do you know how honorable he is and humble?
Yeah.
He's got humility. And that's why he just goes ahead and it's like all the great coaches, they have that humility to them, and that's how they transcend to teach their players. No matter what sport, I don't care what sport it is, that's the way it is. It's being able to teach them, and it's more than the games.
Well, what I heard from him was, when you create a program where you care about the athletes and you care about the individuals, the people come, the talent comes. I think in the same way of Game Changer, what's happening is this third year, people are really caring about what's happening, and now you're starting to stack on more bigger players. You're starting to stack on people that are going to help, and that momentum's going to continue to go. And I think somebody just walked by. Want to get him in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Let me go
Hey,
grab.
Hey, hang with me, people, or get out. I don't care what you do, but you'll listen. Maybe you'll watch it sometime. Do we got any chats going on? I haven't even looked at the chat department. Oh, what do we got to do? Because Roy Williams is one of the best to ever do it. Great guy and coach. I'm going to throw that up there, David Cummings. I am sorry I got so caught up with Roy Williams and the senator, and Meg Bulger is she's a fantastic person. I've known her for years. Her whole family, I love their whole family, and of course we got Joey. That was what does Joey say? That was awesome interviewing. Yeah, Joey. You know what? It really was awesome interviewing him because that man, didn't have to do it. He's got to go do the session out there right next door. I can't wait to hear him. But he's such a good dude. All right, what else we got? Anyone else want to talk here about Reno is going out? I don't know. Let's get a poll. Reno's first day on the job, and this is a side gig. Like I said, he's with Stationers, he's with Chapman, he's with Champion, and now he's with the WolfMan's coach. Should he get fired? Should we fire Reno today? This might be, honestly. Oh, by the way, one last thing. You got nobody?
No, everybody's getting ready for the big speech or getting ready for Roy.
So we're getting blown off.
We better hurry it up, or we're gonna be walking in the middle of the speech. It's gonna be quite embarrassing.
All right, so I want to say this. What happens when you follow the GPS? When you're coming from Morgantown down...
Yeah, this is about game changers, I thought.
No, this is not. When you are like, no, let's do this, the GPS. We wound up in the craziest of places, most beautiful country I think I've seen, but we couldn't even going over 20 miles per hour because it was turn after turn after turn. And then you're lucky I didn't throw up.
Hey, I've only been in West Virginia for 5 years, and I just wanted to see everything. So you're welcome.
All right. Don't trust your GPS like Reno all the time. And don't ever trust a guy, named Reno who's from California. Okay, that's the best thing I've ever learned. Don't ever trust him. You're going on vacation tomorrow, right?
We're going to, next week.
Oh, we're going to do the show tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Tomorrow morning.
Yep, tomorrow morning, show at 9 o'clock. We're going to have people like Daryl Talley, Brian Joswiak. It's going to be who's who. Who else do we have? We just got so many people. I can't even name them all, but I guess that's going to be it. So let's get our commercials going here. Let me find them up. Reno, you got anything else you want to say to call quits for tonight?
Nope. Let's get on with it.
Man, what kind of sidekick are you?
One that you keep kicking.
All right. Well, that's it for the Wolfman's Call coming to you from the Greenbrier for tonight. We will be back. Well, what time is tomorrow?
I don't know, but are you going to boom? Because I've always wanted to boom.
No, you can't do it.
I'm going to do the same as you. I want to just
all right, you do it first, then I'll do it. Go
no,
ahead.
that's not a sidekick. I'll do it slightly after.
All right. All right, here you go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Boom.
I gotcha. All right. And that, my friends, is the Wolfman's Call. Boom! And that's how you do it.
There can only be one.
Only be one. And goodbye. Oh, wait a minute, no. Here we go. The other slate.
Dan Cava has the largest selection of new Camrys in the area, and with $1,000 off sticker price, now is the best time to purchase your new Camry. We also have a wide variety of Tundras, some featuring the all-new TRD lift kit. And don't forget, all new Toyotas come with 2 years or 25,000 miles worth of free service from our award-winning service department, which you can schedule online, by phone, or through the Toyota app. Come see us at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Stationers, #1 office supplier in West Virginia. Always in stock.